Given we're only a couple of days away from one of the most holy months in the calendar, Pride Month, I thought I would take a look at this deadliest of 7 sins and unpack it a bit for you. Now, it doesn't only relate to sexuality nowadays or the LGBTQ plus cartel that pride is their motto. It seems that people are proud of a lot of things these days that at one time we used to be ashamed of. For example, there's a lot of people that are proud of obesity. That's right. And one time we used to think that wasn't such a good thing, that maybe you being 5'2" and 400 pounds wasn't necessarily not only healthy for you, but it wasn't good for society in large because you wouldn't be able to contribute anything to the society around you, nor to the ones that you love and care about. But today, it's the polar opposite. We have people like Lizzo tell us, no, that's not true. You're fat phobic if you don't celebrate my lardness. Really? Okay. And that this is somehow beautiful. You should, if I've got a BMI of 52, consider me sexy and beautiful. I would say that's delusional, but the reason these people want you to do that is because at the end of the day, I don't believe they're proud. I believe they're ashamed, which is the polar opposite of pride. And the only way to fill that shame void, that shame hole, is to have others around you feed you a lie. They have to lie to you because that's the only way that you can overcome the guilt and shame that you're carrying around. Okay. Now, we also at one time used to consider it to be proud if you achieved something as far as financially or had a successful business or a career or whatever else. These were things you took pride in because you put a lot of effort into that achievement. Not so today. Now, you should take pride in living off everyone else. Sitting around and doing nothing and expecting the world to look after you is something you should be proud of. That's right. And there should be no sense of shame that you basically are mooching off society and everyone else. And if people around you are complaining, well, it's them that are wrong. They don't realize how oppressed you've been and how wrong done you were. But again, when I boil it down, I have to believe at some level these people are ashamed of what they're doing. There have to be, because we're not built to just sit and do nothing. And we can't go on that way continuously because society wouldn't move forward. But these people need us to accept this new reality in order to fill that hole of shame that they carry around. Now, given we're, like I said, upon the most holy of months, now as it relates to the LGBTQ plus community, there is nothing but pride in my sexual deviancy. That's right. I need you to celebrate every form of sexual deviancy there is. And if you don't do it, well, you're just a very mean, uncaring, and, basically an SOB. But really, when you think about it, way back at one time, we used to not celebrate sexual deviancy. In fact, we encourage you to have self-control. We've esteemed that self-control was a virtue, controlling and restraining one's desires. But if you couldn't do it, you felt a sense of shame and you wanted to do better. Now, I'm not saying that the shame should crush you and plague you, but you should have a goal towards trying to aim higher than lower. But now the people that are out there celebrating and gyrating and doing every kind of sexual deviancy under the sun want you to celebrate that behavior. And again, I believe truly deep down they are ashamed. They're not content with who and what they are. They're conflicted. They're torn inside. But the only way, just like the obese person, to fill it is to have society around you tell you a lie, that it's all real, that it's all valid, that this is the way things should be. Listen, we are all designed in a way we know what order and disorder is. And when we live in a disordered way, we have conflict within ourselves and we're torn apart. And the solution isn't to have others come around and lie to you and say that this is perfectly acceptable and normal, because that isn't a fix. That may temporarily make you feel better, but it is never going to get at the root of the problem. And pride is the greatest hindrance. I mean, like I said, for those of you who have any kind of a Christian worldview, you know that that is what got Lucifer, Satan, kicked out of heaven, was his pride, his love, his narcissistic love of himself. And pride also is saying that you're never wrong. That's what pride dictates, that I always know the right way. And when you're like that, you're not open to listening to anything else. And if the only people around you and the only culture around you is celebrating your delusion, they're not certainly doing you any good. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, when the lights all go out and you're left in your own space by yourself, you know you're living a lie because you have a huge sense of shame. And shame, my friends, isn't going to be filled or overcome with lies. It just can't be. Anyway, I thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. Please post any comments you have in the comment section. You can also follow me on my Rumble account, my Locals account. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. Share your comments, thoughts. I always welcome them, and I will see you next time.